There is a shipwreck visible on Google Earth that almost nobody talks about. At first glance, it looks like just another rusting vessel stranded on a reef. But this ship may have changed the course of one of the most isolated societies on Earth. To understand why, we need to travel to one of the most forbidden places on the planet, North Sentinel Island. Located in the Andaman Islands of the Indian Ocean, North Sentinel is home to the Sentinelese, a people who have rejected contact with the outside world for generations. Today, the island is surrounded by a protected exclusion zone, and approaching it is illegal. The Indian government enforces these restrictions not only to protect outsiders, but also to protect the Sentinelese from diseases that could devastate their population. But long before modern laws protected the island, nature already did. A ring of shallow coral reefs surrounds North Sentinel. For large ships, these reefs are a natural trap, and in August 1981, they caught a vessel called the MV Primrose. The cargo ship was traveling through the Bay of Bengal when rough weather pushed it onto the reefs near the island. At first, the crew believed they would simply wait for rescue. Then they looked toward the shore. Armed islanders had appeared on the beach. According to reports from the ship, dozens of Sentinelese were gathering with bows, arrows, and spears. The captain even sent emergency messages requesting weapons for defense. Fortunately for both sides, rough seas prevented the islanders from reaching the stranded vessel. After several tense days, the crew was rescued by helicopter. The crew escaped. The ship did not. More than 4 decades later, the wreck is still there. You can see it yourself on satellite imagery near the northwestern coast of the island. And this is where the story becomes fascinating. Most discussions about North Sentinel Island focus on the tribe's isolation. But the wreck may be one of the most important technological events in Sentinelese history. The Sentinelese did not build blast furnaces. They did not operate mines. They never established trade routes with industrial civilizations. Yet suddenly, an entire steel cargo ship had appeared on their doorstep. Researchers and observers later documented that the Sentinelese were using iron and metal in their tools and weapons. Scrap metal from shipwrecks, such as the MV Primrose and the earlier MV Rusle, appears to have become a valuable resource. Anthropologists observed metal-tipped arrows and spears being used by the tribe. Think about that for a moment. A people who wanted nothing to do with the modern world still recognized the value of metal. They did not adopt modern culture. They did not adopt modern religion. They did not adopt modern governments, but they adopted useful materials. It's a rare example of technological change without cultural integration. The outside world never truly entered North Sentinel Island, yet fragments of the outside world washed ashore, and the Sentinelese adapted them to fit their own way of life. Ironically, this was not the first time outsiders changed the island. The roots of Sentinelese hostility may go back more than a century. In Etienne Bibate Bashan, British colonial officer Maurice Vidal Portman landed on the island and abducted several Sentinelese people. Historical accounts state that the elderly captives soon became ill and died after being taken away, while children were later returned to the island. Many historians believe experiences like this helped shape the tribe's deep distrust of outsiders. For over 100 years afterward, Almost every attempt at contact failed. Then, something unexpected happened. In 1991, Indian anthropologist Triloknath Pandit achieved what no outsider had done before: a peaceful encounter. After years of carefully approaching the island and offering coconuts as gifts, members of the tribe accepted them without attacking. For a brief moment, peaceful contact seemed possible. Yet, the effort was eventually abandoned because even friendly interaction carried enormous disease risks. By 1997, official visits had stopped. Then came one of the most famous moments in the island's history. In 2004, a massive Indian Ocean tsunami struck the region. Authorities feared the Sentinelese might have been wiped out. A helicopter was sent to check on the island. Instead of finding an abandoned shoreline, the crew witnessed a tribesman emerge and fire arrows toward the aircraft. It was perhaps the most unusual proof of survival ever recorded. The Sentinelese were still there. The world received another reminder in 2018. American missionary John Allen Chau illegally traveled to the island in an attempt to make contact. He never returned. His death reinforced why North Sentinel remains one of the most restricted places on Earth today. And that brings us back to the shipwreck. The MV Primrose is still rusting on the reef, still visible from space, still slowly being reclaimed by the ocean. It may be the closest thing North Sentinel Island has to a monument to an accidental meeting between two worlds. One world built cargo ships, helicopters, satellites, and global trade networks. The other chose isolation, and between them sits a rusting steel ship that neither side will ever fully reclaim. North Sentinel Island is just one mystery hidden on our planet. There are abandoned cities visible from space, forbidden islands, strange structures in the middle of nowhere, and places with stories that most people have never heard. This channel is still at the very beginning of its journey, and together we're going to explore these places one by one. If you enjoy uncovering forgotten stories through maps, satellite imagery, and real-world mysteries, consider subscribing, because this is only the first clue, and there are many more waiting to be discovered. See you in the next investigation.